Hey, how you doing? Welcome back to my channel if you've already seen my first video. Today, I'm gonna be showing you guys how I created this beautiful like pink lemonade vibe going on here. Well, first of all, let me just say, please go ahead and subscribe if you haven't already. Don't forget to ring the notification bell wherever it is down below, up above, so you can be notified every time I post a video. And as always, all products being used will be listed down below in the description box. Keep watching. You know what, let's just enough with the long intro. Let's just get into it, guys. Alright guys, so jumping right in, we're gonna need to cover up our hair. If you have long hair, this is a good step just to kind of, I don't know, just protect your hair. You don't have to do this if you're bald, honey. If you're bald, like, shout out to you because you just get to skip an extra step in your makeup process. Next, I'm gonna go ahead and prep my lips. You could use any old chapstick. I just like this chapstick. I like to keep my lips hydrated for the gods. Because don't nobody want crusty lips, and I'm planning to use a Kylie lip. And if you've ever used a Kylie cosmetic lip, honey, you know they are drying on the lips, but they're beautiful, they're pigmented, and they smell really good. Let's do skincare. I don't know why I keep looking over here when the camera's over here, like. So I'm gonna be using my tried and true clean and clear dual action moisturizer. If you guys have ever used this moisturizer, you know how good it is. I've used this moisturizer for years, and I always moisturize my skin before I put on primer, before I put on any makeup, because I want a layer of protection from the sun, from the elements of the earth, any dirt, any breath, honey. And it keeps our skin feeling good, non-ashy, and that's just what I like. I know you guys were probably expecting like a voiceover, but I was like, let me try something different. Like, let me give you guys something different. So this is me giving you guys something different. And plus I feel like you get to see my personality a bit more with these type of setups where I'm talking directly to you from the heart or whatever. I am using e.l.f. Poreless Primer. And this is like a really good primer. It's cheap, honey. Save your coins. Don't be spending on an expensive primer. I will say though, that primer absolutely makes the foundation stand out more. Because I am a man and I do have like a stash and I have a little beard going on. It helps fill in the grooves from the hair and gives me a more smooth, seamless effect when I put on my foundation. It gives my foundation something to grip onto. Now, I wouldn't necessarily say like this is a sticky primer. It's not like your Milk Hydro Grip, which is on the more tackier side. This is more of like a slippery satin finish. It's not necessarily a liquid, but it's very like slippery. That's how I would describe it. But it does stick to my foundation very well, and it does what it needs to. It fills in my pores, which is what we want. You're supposed to, I don't know if you guys know this, but you're supposed to be doing upward motions when you're applying things. I'm human and I tend to forget. So moving forward, I'm gonna go ahead and set my primer with Huda Beauty setting powder. This is in the shade Kunafa. It's easy bake, loose powder, and setting powder. It says pack under the eye, T-zones, corner of the mouth, and chin. Let's set bake for like 3 to 5 minutes and dust off the excess powder. I like to do this because I don't know why, but every time I put on a liquid or a cream, I want to set it with a powder. I want to make sure that it's not moving. Again, I said this was a slippier primer. Then it is tacky, that it is sticky, and so I don't want my foundation to be slipping and sliding all day. So I'm gonna go ahead and use a Jeffree Star brush into the Huda Beauty tea setting powder, and I'm just gonna lightly dust off the excess and kind of just brush this all over my primer. This does not make your makeup cakey. I learned this trick from Jackie Aina. Shout out to Jackie Aina if you guys watch her. She is one of the first African beauty influencers to hit, I believe, 1 million subscribers. She's really awesome. And she does this and her skin looks flawless, so I decided to do it and my skin looks flawless. It doesn't make your makeup cakey. If anything, it's almost like a, it adds like a, it acts as like a BB cream. Like there's an extra layer of coverage with this that you normally wouldn't get if you skip this step. I don't know if that makes sense. Jeffree Star, you did that with these brushes, baby, because like I love them. All right, so next we're gonna, I don't know why I'm so extra. Next we're gonna be using my Hudabeauty Chocolate Mousse Fox Filter High Coverage Foundation. I love this foundation, baby. This is like the foundation of all foundations. It smells luxurious. It smells like her setting powder. It smells like her setting spray. I mean, this is just, it screams high end down to like the frosted glass packaging. Honey, like, just get into her packaging. Get into Huda Beauty. If you haven't checked her out on YouTube. She's bomb. Normally, I would just pop, dust this, apply this foundation like so on my face, but I was finding that I was wasting product more than I needed to, and I was coming out cakey. So what I do is I place it, boom, boom, right here on my hand. 1-2 pumps, a little bit goes a long way with this foundation, honey. Trust me, Huda will have you walking around here looking casket ready. So next, I'm gonna go ahead and take a beauty blender. Any old beauty blender will work. Go ahead and start applying my foundation. Oh my god, guys, this foundation smells so good. I just love the way this foundation smells. Like, it's like luxury. Oh my god, there is like a big wasp. Like, go away. Oh my goodness. You didn't even knock. Well, actually it did. It just like busted up on my window. So we're just gonna go ahead and make sure that we have this evenly applied. You can already see a lot of my blemishes are whoosh disappeared. It's giving me a nice even flat base, which is what I want. That's what I like. I don't want really dimension on my face. That's why I go back in with contouring. That's why I go back in with highlighting to bring back the, you know, the depth and the width of my face, honey, because we're gonna make the shape that we want to see in our face. Y'all, I really wish that you could smell this. It smells so good. I take the excess and I also dab my ears just so I can have even tone. And nobody wants to be two-toned over here. Like, I don't want my neck to be orange or my face to be orange and my neck a different color. That's just not cute. No tea, no shade, because I see a lot of girls do that. Next, I'm going to go ahead onto brows. I'll be using my Anastasia Beverly Hills Dip Brow Pomade, excuse me, in the color Dark Brown Cafecito, baby. I hate it here. Okay, so now we are going to brush our hairs back. We're gonna brush those hairs up out of our face. Not that they should be that long, honey. We're just gonna go ahead and dip into our product like so. As you can see, I have used a good amount of this because it's amazing and I love it. And Norvina and Anastasia, you guys snapped with this product. I just wanna let you know. Next, I'm gonna start lining them up. Swoop! Swiper, no swiping. Boom! Oye, estoy aquí. Do you see? Hello. We're gonna get that underside. Ra, 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 ta, ta, ta. We're just gonna go ahead and start filling in our brows after we have lined them up, baby. It's pretty simple. You don't have to get all crazy with your technique. You can do your brows differently. You don't have to necessarily do them how I do them, but that's how I like to do them. So, yeah. How do you guys do your brows? Sound off below. Let me know. I know you guys probably think I'm crazy because I drag it in, but I use the end of the spoolie and I kind of make like a faded unibrow. That's what gives me my nice tapered brow that you guys see. And then I go ahead and I switch to the other side. Y vamos a hacer la misma cosa aquí. Boom. And you guys, please don't worry about like when you're doing your brow and you're like, oh my god, it looks squiggly or it's not like perfect. That's what concealer's for. We're gonna go back in there. Don't have a heart attack. You're gonna be okay, I promise. You're gonna be okay. Filling them in once again, you know. Just gotta make sure that they're not sparse. We don't want, you know, to make it look like we are missing hair on our eyebrows. We want a nice even brow. Cha, 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 cha. Boom! So you should have a unibrow. Honestly, if you don't have a unibrow when you do your eyebrows, you really ain't doing it right. Now, that's just how I like to do my brows. And we're just gonna go ahead and use the excess to wipe that off during the middle. You're gonna get a nice tapered effect, which is what I like. Hopefully that's what you like. Next, we're gonna take our concealer. In my case, this is the Born This Way concealer, high coverage from Too Faced. You could use really like any name, it doesn't even have to be name brand, like you can use any concealer to clean up your brows. I just like this one. That's what I'm using. I'll probably regret it later. I'll probably regret it later when I run out of this, but I have about 15 concealers saved up, so we good over here, baby. I'm putting a little bit of product like this. That's that Kylie. Like, no matter how many... Listen, we'll get into that later. So next, I'm going to go ahead and put some on a rounded flat brush, and we're going to go ahead and start concealing. We're going to conceal that brow and clean it up. I start at the arch of my brow, working my way down. I cut it out like that. And then I start from the arch of my brow and I take it to my inner corner. Bloop. Like that. And then I put the rest of the concealer on my lid. I do this because it acts like a eyeshadow primer. Like, I don't have to go in there with MAC Painter Le Pas or Urban Decay eye primer. I mean, you could spend the money if you want to. I'm sure those products work really great. But it's like, girl, slap some concealer on there. It does the same effect. Now, I will say Makeup Revolution has a white concealer that I hear everybody's raving about. And if you want to use a white concealer, even better, because the whiter you can get your lid, the more pigmented the shadows will be when you put them on there. Now this step you can completely skip. I don't like putting too much. The reason why I turn my brush downwards, I don't like putting too much powder here, because when I blend it out, it gets into my hair and I'm like, that is not what I wanted. So anything that's left over, you're gonna go ahead and put it right here in the middle. Like so. So now that we have one, we're gonna go ahead and do the other side. Voila, and we have concealed, cleaned up brows. You can already see the shape is starting to come in. It's what I like it. If you're not happy with it, you can go back in and mold. You can go back in with color. You can do whatever you want to do. Really, it's your preference. I mean, you can either make them as thin as you want, as thick as you want. In my case, I kind of like a medium-sized brow, so that's what we're going for. And now we're going to take our beauty blender and we're going to go ahead and blend this out like so. For this middle part, you want to make sure that you are tapping the product upwards and into the ends of those brows. That's what's really going to give you a more seamless blended effect. As you can see, it's starting to taper off in there. If you don't really like this, you can completely skip this step. If you like a sharper brow, you can leave it as is. But I like everything to be seamless and natural and blended, so that is what I am doing. This is where the headband comes in handy. If you don't want to get it into your hair, you can blend the product outwardly into the headband. As to avoid getting it in your hair, typically that's what I like to do. But everybody's different. Everybody's different. Everybody makes mistakes. Nobody's perfect. So now that everything's nice and evenly blended, we are gonna go ahead and jump right into the fun part. Eyes. This is what you all came here for. We're gonna be using the Jeffree Star Jawbreaker palette. This palette is so beautiful. Not only is it beautiful, honey, it's heavy. It's heavy. It's pretty. Like, oh, the packaging. If you've ever bought something from Jeffree Star, like, it's A1, baby. Like, everything's A1. Now, this palette has been used and abused, honey. So I'm going to show you the inside. Please don't judge me. Ah! It's so beautiful. I just love it so much. And it's one of my, like, this is one of my palettes that I'm like, I gotta bring me a palette to go summer if I'm going on vacation. This is like my go-to because, like, look at all this. Look at the color story. Like, I can create so many looks with this. Natural, from like daytime to evening looks. Like, baby, this palette is the truth. Okay. I was thinking we're gonna do a pink lemonade type vibe. I'm gonna be telling you the names of the colors as I'm doing it, what I'm doing, how I'm blending. You know what? Enough talking. Let's just jump right in. Let's just jump right in. So the first color that I'm going to be using in the palette is called Virgin. It's this white eyeshadow, and I'm going to basically put it all over my lid, like so, to set my concealer that I had put on there. This is going to be a great base, so that way when I do apply other colors from the palette, it'll be super pigmented and it'll glide on easier rather than have that like weird patchiness that you find sometimes when you're blending out shadows. That might be why. So you want to make sure that if you're using a cream or like any type of primer for your eyeshadow, that you're setting it with a white or at least a lighter shade powder. Just makes for an easier blend, easier transitions, and more pigment when you do put on color. So I think just for time's sake, I'm gonna go ahead and just do one eye on camera and I'll do my other eye off camera. That way you guys can just focus on what I'm doing and not get like distracted, and I don't want to waste your time, okay? Because I know your time is precious. So the second color that I'm going to be using is called Wow, and it's this beautiful yellow color in the palette. And I'm going to be taking this as yellow and orange in the palette. So Wow and Suck are going to really be our transitionary colors to make sure everything's blended and seamless. I like to keep this yellow color right there where my crease is, and I drag it upwards to my brow and my brow bone. I'm kind of keeping it right there. Love this yellow in the palette just because it's super pigmented, but it makes for a great transitionary color. Any color that you put in under or after this is guaranteed to have a smooth blend, and they just really meld into each other. So the next color that we're going to be using in the palette is called Suck. And it's this beautiful orange color. We're gonna go ahead and put that right on top of the yellow that we had just did. I'm kind of tapping the color on and then going in towards the end and blowing it out and dragging it back into the middle. We wanna marry the yellow and the orange together. These two colors together are not only beautiful, but again, they make for a beautiful, beautiful transition color. They're gonna kind of set us up for our strawberry lemonade and cutting our crease. Don't be too afraid of blowing it out all the way, because you can always grab a makeup wipe or just a regular wipey and clean that up. Now I'm going back to that yellow, and again, this is our transitionary color, so I want it to bend beautifully. I'm tapping off the excess and I'm rubbing that right back on top of the orange color that we have, just so I'm making sure that everything is nice and seamless and evenly blended, like so. Next, I'm taking a smaller fluffy brush and I'm going in with the color Cherry Wet, which is this beautiful, 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 beautiful shade. It is literally cherries. If you've ever bought from Jeffree Star Cosmetics, he also has a liquid lipstick called Cherry Wet. It's literally the same shade, just in eyeshadow form. Now with this color, we really want to concentrate it deep inside of that brow bone, deep in our crease, and we'll smoke it out in a second, but first you want to worry about packing that color right there. You can actually feel where your bone is, and that's how you know you're hitting it right. Now when it gets towards the end, you want to blow that color out. You want to smoke it out. We want to go ahead and get this end corner as well. And what we're doing here is we're creating depth and the illusion of a deeper crease, so that way when we do cut our crease, it doesn't fall flat. It gives us dimension. This color is packed with pigment, packed. Now you see, if I was to just stop there, you could see a harsh line of demarcation. That's not what we want at all. So what we're gonna go ahead and do is go back in with the same brush that we used with the shade Suck, which was that orange color, and we're gonna go ahead and blend that out. And you should kind of almost see like a gradient, like it should look like a sunset, a miniature sunset on your eye. That's what I like, even flawless blended. I know you're not seeing the vision, but just like imagine like that. So next I'm taking a denser round brush and I'm going in with the color Raspberry, which is this really deep, beautiful, I'll just let you guys decide. Like, it's just a beautiful, look at that. It's a beautiful raspberry color. I mean, there's nothing more to it. This, we're gonna concentrate directly on the outer corner. That outer V, stamping that in, like so. And this is what's really, 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 really gonna make our cut crease pop out. And when I smoke it out, I'm gonna be using a different brush to smoke it out. It's all about the type of brushes that you're using, the technique as well. That'll also make or break your look. So now that I have it concentrated in that area that I want it to be concentrated in, I'm gonna take that same brush that I used Raspberry, and this time I'm gonna kind of smoke out the ends of that. I'm not necessarily dragging it in, I'm just kind of smoking it outwardly. I wanna create like a false cat eye. Boom! Now, again, if you see that I drug it out here, that's okay, that's cool. We're gonna clean it up. Stop tripping, don't worry. Everything, todo está bien, okay? Todo está bien, relax. Relájate, papi. So now we're gonna go ahead and cut our crease. If you haven't seen my first tutorial on YouTube, you can go back and refer to it, but I'm gonna just show you guys again anyways. So I'm taking that same concealer that I used, I'm putting it on a flat rounded brush, and we're gonna go ahead and cut our crease. Boom, boom, boom. You guys saw how quiet I get when I cut my crease. Concentration at its finest, honey. It doesn't have to be perfect because we're gonna go back in with colors, but if you're one of those people that's like perfectionist, by all means, like, take your time, take an hour if you need to. I just don't think that's necessary, but different strokes for different folks. Now that we have cut our crease, we're gonna be using two beautiful reflective metal shades in the Drawbreaker palette. We're gonna be using the shade Lemon Drop with this beautiful reflective yellow, and we're also gonna be using the shade Cotton Candy, which is a nice hot pink. What I like to do is pick up the pigment. So next I'm gonna dip into Lemon Drop, like so, and then I'm gonna spray it with my e.l.f. setting spray, or just any setting spray will do. It doesn't have to be e.l.f. You can use whatever you have. And we're gonna go ahead and tuck that on our inner corner. So we're gonna go ahead and use tapping motions and drag that out. You can already see that this is, Lemon Drop is just like a beautiful, beautiful standout shade. It's one of my favorite shades in the palette. And now I'm dragging that kind of halfway, midway through my crease, extending it higher up at the top, over here. Like so. And then I'm gonna use my finger to kind of blend that out like that. Like, look at that high shine pay off. We're gonna go ahead and do the same exact thing, but on our outer corner with that beautiful shade Cotton Candy. So again, we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna take cotton candy and spray it down. Swoosh, swoosh. And we're gonna go ahead and start filling it in, but from midway, like so. And dragging it outwardly. And then I just take my finger and I make sure that those colors are married and blended in. Now, as you can see, you should have a beautiful radiant gradient effect, but I want a little bit more yellow than I do the pink. So I'm gonna go back in with the yellow just to kind of make sure that there's an even amount of pink and yellow in there. Look at that shine, you guys. This is such a beautiful, 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 beautiful color. Boom. Boom. That's what I want to see. That's how it should look. So now that we have that, we're going to go ahead and add some razzle dazzle to it. So I'm going to be taking my Yalorde Cosmetics loose pigment glitter. This is beautiful. This is a pink duochrome glitter with kind of a green reflex to it. I'm going to be putting that on my inner corner as well as my brow bone. I'm going to try not to put it on my middle even though I really want to. But I kind of just want to keep the fun here and here. So now to do that, I take just a regular lash glue. This is from Ardell. And I put it right here in my inner corner, strategically where I want my glitter to pop. That's where I'm gonna put it, and that's where I chose. And then I'm just going to tuck my glitter right in there. And it should look like that, reflective in gold. We're just gonna go ahead and take a little flat brush and dust off the excess glitter. This is a beautiful pink glitter. We're gonna go ahead and do our brow bone. And we're gonna go ahead and tuck that right there. It's like a little disco party on your eye. So I know it looks a little crazy right now, but we're gonna go ahead and clean up in between. Make sure that any of that loose glitter is off and not where it doesn't need to be. And so now you have a little razzle dazzle, baby. So next we're gonna go ahead and clean up our eye. Cleaned up. We're gonna go ahead and take what we used from our foundation, if there's any excess, and kind of just bloop, 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 clean up under there really quickly. So now that we have one eye complete, I'm gonna go ahead and complete the other eye off camera. Voila, we're back with both eyes done. This is what it should look like. Pink lemonade. At least that's what I like to call it. Gonna be moving on to our highlight and contour. I'm gonna go ahead and start contouring with my cream to powder contour from You guessed it, Huda Beauty. This does not have a fragrance on it. This is in the color Tan, and this is their Tan Tour. So it's a contour and bronzer cream, and this really is one of the best products I've ever used for contour, but I only really like to concentrate it here and here. You can go ahead and put it on your forehead if you want, but I feel like this shade is a tad too dark. I need to get the other shade down from this. The name escapes me at the moment, so excuse me. But what I do is I kind of rub it in there and I hit it where I really want to place it. Now, a little bit does go a long way, but it does dry down into a powder. And it's actually really easy to work with. It's super duper blendable. I couldn't take this one down more because I want to. So you can actually kind of already see the shape and how it's going to lay down. You can either do it a little bit for kind of a more subtle effect, or if you're like me and you want like a J-Lo glow and you want to look bronzy and toasted, this is what you would do. Next, I'm going to take this dense brush from Sephora. The name escapes me. It is the Pro Press Full Coverage Complexion brush. It kind of has an angle, and what I do is I take the denser side with circular motions and work my way up. Now, because it is a denser brush, I like to kind of press it in, working downwards like so. And really, you can start to see the warmth come to your face. It's kind of already giving me that whoosh. Now, it still looks like I have dirt on my face, so what I'm gonna do, what I typically do, is I take another smaller, dense brush, like so, and I take circular motions, and do the same thing, but this is gonna help distribute that product evenly in places that you didn't have. Now, if it still looks too harsh, no worries. We haven't used concealer yet. We haven't highlighted yet. So you have a lot more room to work with and play with when it comes to this, okay? Anything excess, I'll kind of just like dab up in there. You could be as extra as you want with your contour. It's up to you, honey. So now that we have that, I'm gonna go back in with my concealer. Boom, boom, boom. And I'm gonna go ahead and add this normally where I would. I take it tightly under my waterline and I take it right as close as I can get it to my under eye here. And I use the excess to kind of sweep. And then I use this to drag it out. A little bit does go a long way since this is a very super high coverage concealer. Doing this to your eye is really gonna make sure that it's nice and clean, you're bright, awake. Because I do have a bit of a mustache here, even though I shave the 5 o'clock shadow, I like to tap on my concealer there, take the excess here, and then the rest I put here. And again, like a little bit does go a long way. Now that I have concealer on my face, typically I would let it sit for about 2 minutes before blending it outwards, just to make sure that it's on there, it's not moving anywhere. And that's just what I like to do. You can completely skip that step and just kind of jump right into blending it out. After I've waited for my concealer to kind of set a little bit, what I do is I take my e.l.f. setting spray. This is a dewy setting spray. You can use any setting spray. I spray my face down and then I go ahead and blend that outwardly. So let's go ahead and get that done now. Voila. Oh my god, that smells so good. By the way, e.l.f., you guys did that. It smells like literally they crushed coconuts and put it in a setting spray. Not only does it work, honey, it smells good. And I'm a fragrance whore. Like, I love anything that's fragranted. I don't know, that's just me. If you guys don't like fragrance on your face, it's probably not for you. But it's not overwhelming. It's not like, oh my god, it's super fragranted. It's like the right amount. So now we're just gonna go ahead and blend. Now the excess that I have from my chin, I like to take it up here, just in case that contour was a little bit too dark, and I do the same on the other side. And I'll get in here, that way you guys can see exactly what I'm doing. I'll go ahead and blend this outwardly as well. And again, I'm taking that, any excess that I have, I'm not wiping it off on a towel. I'm bringing it up here where my contour may have been a bit too dark. And you can kind of see how that line's already starting to form, which is exactly what we want. Recreating that depth. So when I look forward, you can see that cut. You know, it should look very like tiger-esque. We're gonna hold. And please, y'all, like, don't be afraid to get up in there on the nose. The worst thing I hate is when I see like cracks and concealer on the nose, and I'm like, oh my god, do I tell the girl? Do I not tell the girl? We're not really friends, but I'm gonna tell her anyways, because y'all, I would want somebody to tell me if my concealer, my foundation was cracking. So we're gonna go ahead and get in there like this. Oh baby, we're up close and personal, and you didn't even ask me out to dinner.
Oh, ah, the ghetto. The ghetto. The ghetto.
I'm gonna go ahead and stamping motions. And I like to take it up to the bridge of my nose. Just like that, I cut across. That's gonna help clean up any fallout that's right there. And then we just go ahead and get as close as we can to that line without touching it. And you see how already that's so sharp. It just cleans it up so beautiful. We're gonna take that outwards, just like this. Now again, if there's too much product, you can just wipe it off on a towel or something that you have. That's why I said the concealer, like a little bit really does go a long way. You just never really want to use too much, because that's when it does become on the cakey side. Now we're going to go ahead and do this side as well. Same thing. Very careful to not overdo it on this eye, because then you're going to have to redo your entire eyeshadow, and that's no fun for anyone. You don't have to conceal the sides of your nose like me, but again, I like to contour my nose. And I'm dragging this outwardly, making sure it's up. And I'm not getting afraid to wipe off the excess or blend it up here, because when we hit our forehead, it should look like that. So now that we are nice and concealed, we want to go ahead and set our concealer. Again, any setting powder you could use. I would suggest like even an airspun setting powder from Walmart, which is super cheap. All the drag queens use it. And just because I'm a little bougie, I'm going to be using my Hudabeauty in the shade Kunafa again. This is comparable to like the Ben Nye banana powder. If you want like another dupe, you can use Makeup Revolution setting powder, which is amazing. Setting powder is so finely milled, like it's just so rich and finely milled that it's not going to show a lot of texture, which is what we want. We just kind of want to set that cream there, and it melts into the skin like butter. I'm going to take it up here like so. And we're gonna go ahead and bake our nose. Because I have a little stash, honey, we gotta go ahead and bake that too. This step is optional, but if you're a woman who has discoloration, this is like the perfect step for you too. The trick is not to like overkill yourself with powder, but you definitely want to make sure that you're setting it so that way your concealer doesn't move. Sometimes I find that when we're using creams that are a little bit heavier, we're like, well, it kind of, you could tell when your makeup's moving around. This is going to prevent that. This is going to prevent oiliness, shine. It gives you a Photoshop finish. And it also just makes sure that ensures that your makeup is going to last those 8 hours shifts, whether you're at work or school or whatever. This is typically what I do whenever I need to go to school. And it's what works for me. Again, a little bit goes a long way. So I'm just kind of stamping the excess in here. Right around my nose, especially because that's my oily spots. The most oily spots that I have is around my nose area, like so. Boom, boom, boom. I like to leave this on here while I do my contour. For contour, I'm gonna be using the Tarte Park Avenue Princess. Number one, the packaging is like, the packaging is sick. I love it. It's beautiful, it's gold, it's like, it's heavy, it's like a gram of gold, it's expensive, it's luxurious, I love everything about it. Show you guys the inside as well. Da, da, da. It's so beautiful, I love it. And I'm gonna be using these shades Princess Cut and a little bit of Angel. And we're going to start lightly. You can already see it's super pigmented. And this is what we want. We want to look nice and toasted. We want to bring back color to the skin. I really do enjoy a nice JLo glow. So you're gonna see me kind of go in repetitive motions with my bronzer. And you can even start to see how it manipulates the light. It's making my forehead look smaller. Doing this is gonna snatch my eyebrow shape as well. Learning your contour shades is gonna be imperative. You wanna know the difference between light and cool. You wanna know the difference between your undertones. All of that is gonna make or break your contour. Again, you don't have to apply as much as I am applying. I am just extra, and I like my contour to be extra. And I really, really, really love Scott Barnes. I follow a lot of his makeup tutorials. If you guys don't know who Scott Barnes is, he is Jennifer Lopez's makeup artist. He's been her makeup artist for over a decade, I believe. He's done some of her most iconic makeup looks over the years. And I'm a huge fan of JLo. I'm a huge fan of Scott Barnes. I think he's a makeup icon. And I love watching him. I like learning from him. And I can't wait to buy his makeup products to test them out. And he has such a awesome technique and way of applying makeup. It's so different. I kind of learned how to apply my contour watching Scott Barnes. And so you can see that it's a bit much here. But that's okay because I'm going to go back in there with blush and we're going to tone it down. You guys will see what I'm doing. Sometimes with makeup, it has to get uglier before it gets better. And sometimes it just gets uglier, and that's like a lesson learned. Like, better luck next time, I guess. So next, I'm just going to go ahead and cut my jawline so that way when I look, it looks very feminine, very small. If you already have a small jawline, I'd avoid doing this. But if you have a more rounded jawline or square cut jawline, this is definitely a great way to give you a softer look. And also, if you have a big chin, you would want to go ahead and cut it. But I have a tiny chin, so I really don't do too much in that area. I like to get my temples really, really warm. Once I have the overall shape that I want, I'm gonna go ahead and do my blush. I'm gonna be using the shade Cherry Wet, which is actually what I have on my eyes for blush, just to kind of keep it cohesive and the same, like keep it in the family. I love using eyeshadows as blushes sometimes. A lot of people don't do that, but it actually works. Jeffree Star's formulas are blendable, so it makes it a lot easier. And then we're just gonna go ahead and apply a little bit. And as you can see, like literally a little bit goes a long way. I like to drag my blush up. And it gives you a beautiful, warm, hello, like somebody just pinched my cheeks. How you doing? You see that? You see that? Tu ves eso? Tu lo ves? Gorgeous. So next I'm gonna take a dense brush and I'm gonna wipe off the extra setting powder. You don't wanna keep it on there too long because honey, once it's on there, it ain't gonna move. So we're just gonna wipey, wipey, wipe, wipe. Blend the contour, melt it together. Blah, blah, blah. Like this, get on the under eye. And you wanna make sure that you wipe off all the excess powder before. And you see how it was really harsh there? We're gonna go ahead and blend that setting powder in there, and that really calms it down. It makes it more seamless, more pretty. Boom, boom. But you also wanna wipe it off before you put on your setting spray, because when you put on that setting spray, it's really not moving anywhere, babe. Good luck. And we can go ahead and wipe off this. Besitos. ¿Tú quieres un besito, mami? That's for you. That's for you watching my video. Thank you guys. Like, I'm just grateful to be here. Like, I'm just grateful to be in this space and like finally just getting out and doing it, you know? Because I've been talking about it. So I'm gonna go ahead and contour my nose. I'm taking that color Princess Cut from this Park Ave contour palette from Tarte. Tap off the excess, honey, and we're just gonna hit that nose. Straight down. Straight down! Right down to the other side. Kind of cutting it like that. A little bit like that. You know, taking it up here. Ooh, you guys want to know a good trick to like really contour your nose? Take it right here. Ooh, look at that. Look, look, look. Hello, did I have a nose job? Maybe. Maybe I did. Maybe I didn't. Maybe it's Maybelline. Did he go to Calabasas and get a nose job? Actually, I did. You see that? Did you see that? Hello, hello. I went from Squidward nose to like LA girl nose in 3 seconds. Not that I don't like necessarily not like my nose shape, but I just figured for the sake of the video, if you guys ever wanted to know, that's just what I do. So don't go out there and get surgery on your nose because I love my nose and you should love your nose too. Before we go any further, we're gonna go ahead and work on our under eye. So for our under eye, I'm gonna be taking this blue color called Soaked, and we're just gonna really tuck it right there, really tight. Look at that, hello. So next, now that I have that underlying blue there, I'm gonna go ahead and take a little bit of raspberry on here and I'm gonna smoke that out. Hello. Hello, oh my gosh. Doing your under eye is just gonna give you that, it's just gonna make it look 10 times better. And you should have something like that. Something like that. It don't have to be perfect. If you're a perfectionist, girl, I feel you. Okay, so now that we have both eyes done, let's move on to our lips. For lips, I'm gonna be using the Kylie Cosmetics 20 lip liner mixed in with the Kylie Cosmetics Cocoa collection in the shade Topped all around it. So let's go ahead and jump right in. Okay, so I actually learned this trick by my mom. What she does is she lines her lips completely with the liner, and then she takes one coat of the Kylie liquid lipstick. And really you only need one coat once you've already applied the lip liner all over. I know a lot of people are having trouble with like over drying, it's way too matte. That's because you're doing like 2-3 swipes. Her formula is so pigmented and so matte that you really only need one swipe if you've applied the lip liner all over. And the good thing about her lip liners are that they're very creamy and they're rich and they're easy to blend. So that's what we're gonna go ahead and do now. This is a beautiful shade, by the way. Now, I like to overline my lip. I kind of put it under there to give me the effect of a bigger lip. If you don't like to overline your lip, you do not have to. I'm an overliner. I want big lips. That's what I like to do, and that's what I'm gonna do. But again, you can take it as close to your lip line or under as you like. Okay, so now you can see I've applied my lip liner and I have it all over. I'm gonna go ahead and take the Kylie Cosmetics liquid lipstick. I'm gonna go ahead and put it on my lip, but I'm gonna focus it on the center and use my finger to blend it out, okay? It literally smells like cupcakes. This is so good. And we're gonna apply a little bit more. And there you have it. That's exactly what your lips should look like afterwards. You could go in with a darker liner, which is what I typically like to do, but I lost my NYX Club Hopper liner, so I just figured why not use Kylie with Kylie. And I actually really like how the lip came out anyways. It's definitely giving me pink lemonade vibes, floral vibes, which is what I wanted. So now that we have this, we're gonna go ahead on and move to highlight. The highlighter that I'm going to be using today is from Milani Cosmetics right here, and it is called Glowing Strobe Light Instant Glow Powder. Typically, I like to go ahead and spray my face with setting spray, so that's exactly what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to take my little highlighting brush here. I'm going to dip into my pan like so. And then I'm also gonna spray that too because I just like everything to be sprayed, coated, and even. And we're gonna hit our nose. And instantly you can see, boom, we're gonna hit right here. You wanna make sure that it's nice and warm. And then we're just gonna go ahead and hit our cheeks. And it should be a very specific, I like a very specific highlight. I don't like my highlight to just be anywhere and everywhere. Everybody's different. Some people like it a little bit more exaggerated. I want you to be able to see the sun in your, I want you to look at my highlight and see your face, honey. Like, I want you to be like,
What was the reason? I had a reason. What was the reason? What was the reason? I just explained the reason. What was the reason?
Honey, that's a bit much. I mean, do you see that? Do you see that when I turn? Are you looking at that? I don't know, that's just what I like, and I'm not changing it up for anybody. I'm gonna put a little bit more because I feel like a little bit goes a long way. I'm gonna go ahead and spray again, but this time I'm gonna use my beauty blender to melt and blend everything in before we do mascara and lashes. Yummy, yummy, yummy. We're gonna go ahead and take our beauty blender and start melting everything in. Also, if you felt like you put on too much highlighter, this is gonna tone it down. This is gonna bring it from ashy to skin-like. It's gonna bring color back. It's gonna melt and blend all those products together. So moving on to mascara, I'm just gonna use my tried and true Better Than Sex mascara. This is a mini that I got, or my mom may have got from her BoxyCharm. I can't really remember where she got it from, but I have it. That's what I'm using. You can use any old mascara, whatever suits your little heart. And just go ahead and make sure you coat your top and your bottom lashes really well. I find that putting on mascara is not my favorite part of my makeup. I don't know why, I just don't care for it. It's just not my cup of tea. It's just not what I like to do, okay? It's not my favorite part. Can we just talk about how awkward it is that I just use the full face of makeup from brands that like really just are not into each other, from like Jeffree Star to Huda Beauty to Too-Faced and Jeffree Star. Yeah, it's a lot. But you know what? They may not like each other, but I love their products. I love their products, baby. Next, I'm gonna go ahead and apply my lashes. I'm gonna be using the lashes YL8. And this is from Yalorde Cosmetics. I'll go ahead and let you guys get a close-up of that if you can see. Boom, boom. These are beautiful lashes. They're 3D faux mink lashes. Excuse me, honey. And on the back of the packaging, it says, be sexy, be classy, and keep those lashes on fleek. As well as the link to where you can buy these lashes and the loose pigment glitters that they sell. And you guys can also follow them on Instagram. They have 2 pages, Yalorde Cosmetics and Yalorde Lashes. So let's just go ahead and open these up and see what these bad boys look like up close. I have already shown you guys my other pair in my other video, or my first YouTube video, and I fell in love with them, and these are no exception. These YL8s are so beautiful. I don't know if you could see the hairs on the side. Hold on, let me see if I can get that on camera. I mean, there's layers to it. It's 3D. It is just a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful lash. And let's go ahead and see what they look like. I know a lot of you guys have been asking me on a short video on how to apply lashes. So maybe I'll just try to apply one on camera and then the other one off camera. So typically what I do is I look at the lash band, and if it has any little extra strip, I like to go ahead and cut that off. The outer corner seems to be fine, but the inner corner seems to have a bit of an extra piece, so I'm gonna take, I usually have smaller scissors. I couldn't find them, so I'm using these. These work just as well. You want to be very careful that when you are cutting it, you're not cutting the actual lash itself, because then you'll be wasting money and you'll be looking weird with like sparse lashes. I then take my lash glue from Ardell. You could use any kind that you want, and this step is pretty self-explanatory. I line up my lash band with my glue like so. So now that I have the lash glue on the band, typically what I do is I grab some tweezers and I'll blow on it, or I just let it air dry. Typically I'll go ahead and prep my other eyelash with glue while I let this one dry, so I'll go ahead and do that now. So the reason why I like to let one sit while I do the other is because I want it to be at a tacky consistency, and I don't want it to be like too liquidy, because then the lash is going to slide around and you're wondering like, why aren't my lashes sticking? Because they're not tacky enough. So now that I feel like it's kind of glued down a little bit, you can kind of start seeing it getting clear. I'm going to go ahead and place it where I want. See how that is? It just went on beautifully. It's nice, it's even, it's lifted. And don't be afraid to go in there with your fingers and press it down, manipulate it to where you want it to be. It's all about having control over the lash, not the lash having control over you. Now that I have both lashes on, I'm going to come back with the finished look, guys. Okay guys, so this is the final look. I went ahead and slapped on a beautiful like flower headband and this beautiful little dress that I love that has flowers all over it. I hope you guys enjoyed this YouTube video, and I want to hear your feedback. What do you guys think of the look? What do you guys think of the lashes? I really want to know what you guys want to see from me, what type of videos you guys want from me, what type of content you want me to push out. If you have any suggestions on makeup ideas, tips, advice, anything, just sound off below. I'm always open to constructive criticism, just as much as I want to be here to help you guys. I feel like I can learn so much from you folk as well. And I hope you're enjoying my content so far. Give me a big old thumbs up if you are. You guys don't forget to subscribe to my channel, as well as ring the notification bell so you can be notified whenever I post a video. And you don't have to, but it'd be really awesome if you guys copied the link and shared this video to your Facebook, your Instagram, and let all your friends know that there's a new beauty YouTube guru on the rise. And yeah, really, I just want you guys to look at me because I just spent my time on this glam and it looks really good, okay? Okay. But on a serious note, guys, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for subscribing and sharing and commenting. I appreciate it, and I can't wait to push out more content for you guys.